I'm sure looking at the construction is with contact
Boy,
with
he's
the ground.
coming down now.
Here it goes.
Yeah, oh yeah, it's
Yeah,
coming
he's
almost
coming
straight
down
in.
now.
I think.
Oh,
And
that looks
very
like a great
soft.
Look at that.
Very
soft. Look at
softly.
that.
Oh my gosh.
And there we have somebody.
Somebody has the
Beautiful.
tether. We have one person with the tether. A soft plowed field. You couldn't
Yep.
ask for a nicer place to touch down.
Now, Vaughn, earlier today you talked about the idea of the controlled deflation and how that might look. It appears that it basically just happened on its own.
Yes, that's basically like you set up a little bit of a leak, helium out, and be able to get it to come down. And as we can see, that obviously there's not a lot of surface winds because the craft is just sitting there. We didn't have the drag potential and the drag hazard, and it just looks like it settled in. It was piloted on a beautiful leisure flight.
And look at the deputies' feet as they walk around in the field. You can tell, just as Marty said, it's fresh plowed. There's probably a foot or so of dirt in those furrows that hopefully cushion the landing. We're hearing that this is near Prospect Reservoir.
Oh, okay.
So this has been at least 2.5 hour
Yes.
flight, and perhaps
Unintended
it might be
flight.
a little bit more. Yes.
Yes.
For a 6-year-old boy that crawled into the basket of this homemade device that he had been working on with his father in Fort Collins, Falcon Henny, 6 years old, that crawled into this, and we still don't know all the details, but somehow it managed to get untethered and lifted off.
Mm-hmm.
And then the parents were in just a utterly helpless situation.
It would,
Calling for help.
it would appear that their primary concern here is making sure that the balloon doesn't get back off the ground.
Yeah, they're piling dirt on top of it there to try to tether it. Kyle, Kim, I've seen no sign of Falcon Henny.
I know,
at
and
this
that's the
point.
part that.
I'm not quite sure if the emergency responders know where or how to look for him. I don't know if they know where he is, but I've seen no indication of the 6-year-old boy that we've been talking about here for the last couple of hours. They are securing the balloon.
Now, it's certainly easy to say from where we sit, but it's tough to imagine a softer landing considering the circumstances, at least the way that it looked from our perspective there on Sky 9.
I'm sure it was a pretty good bump when you went down, but Vaughn, I think, said it best, where that looked like a controlled landing that you would make on a leisure flight. You could see that they're rending the envelope there with shovels.
I think
they're just to go out. They do not want to risk this taken back off. So I think that they've rendered it not flight worthy at this point, and now it looks like they're starting to make an investigation of the basket area. We do know, Kim, that door was just on one side.
Right.
So they're gonna have to roll that thing over so they can get to the one side where there's an entrance into that basket.
Now, off to the left of the balloon, you could see some of the video cameras there, and one of those belongs to our own Brian Willey, who we can go now to on the phone. Brian, what are you seeing ground there next to the balloon?
Well, I've got information that I'm not quite sure how to say it, but I don't believe that they found anybody with this balloon.
Oh my goodness.
They backed off. They've punctured holes in it to make it non-flyable at this point, but there's no basket, and they're not pulling anybody out of it at this point.
Okay.
They are still looking. Sorry, I'm a little bit out of breath. I had to run into a dirt field, which was the best landing for it. But at this point, they're not pulling any child out of this balloon at this time. They continue to. They've lifted it up. What you say was the basket, they've now completely lifted upside down, and again, they have not found any child. There was no child on board this balloon at this point.
Can you see, have they opened up what we were referring to as the door or the hatch? Can you see that they've looked inside, or have they just turned it?
No, they have looked inside. Hofstra right now is using his pocket knife to cut the rest of that open. That door is, what you say was the door, is open at this point. They're cutting the rest of the balloon open at this point. But again, there's no child in this balloon. And to be honest with you, the faces of these the paramedics and the sheriff's department is in pretty much disbelief at this point. A lot of phone calls are being made, and just really no one knows what to do right now. I can tell you that the bottom of the balloon, there is a peg that's sticking out from the bottom of that balloon, and there's nothing attached to it. And it looks like at one point something may have been attached to that. But again, there is no child that is on this, that was a part of this aircraft per se that landed in this field.